Good morning guys, so for today's video, I will be having a summarization of chapter 2, Configure and Network Operating. So what's that? So chapter 2, Configure and Network Operating System. Cisco iOS is a term that encompasses a number of different operating systems which runs on various networking devices. A technician can enter command to configure or program the device to perform various networking functions. Cisco iOS routers and switches perform functions that network professionals depend upon to make their networks operating expanded. The services provided by the Cisco iOS are accessed using command line interface CLI, which is accessed by either the console port. The CLI network technician can make configuration changes to Cisco iOS device. The Cisco iOS is designed as a model operating system, which means a network technician must navigate through various hierarchical models of the iOS. Each model supports different iOS commands. Cisco iOS router and switches support a similar model operating system, support similar command structure, and support many of the same commands. In addition, both devices have identical initial configuration steps when implementing them in a network. This chapter introduces the Cisco iOS. It details the various modes of the Cisco iOS and examines the basic command structure that is used to configure it. It also walks through the initial setting of the Cisco iOS switch device, including the setting name, limiting access to device configuration, configuring banner message, saving the configuration, and then operating system function with a shell, a kernel, and hardware. The shell interface with the user, allowing them to request specific tasks for the device. The kernel provision resources from the hardware to meet software requirements. The hardware function by using drivers and the underlying electronics. The hardware represents the physical components of the device. To be truly private, a technician would use console connection. However, it removes management required. CCH provides a secure method. Telnet and SSH requires active networking services to be configured on Cisco before that they become functional. Cisco switches do not contain AUX port. And then Control-C return to the user to prevent exit mode. Control-C ends a command in process. Exit mode return to the user to provision level. If a Cisco iOS device has valid iOS and valid configuration file, it will boot into user exit mode and password will be required under privileged exit mode. Content-sensitive help provides the user with a list of commands and arguments associated with those commands within the current mode of network devices. A syntax checker provides error checks on submitted command, and the tab key can be used for command completion if a partial command is entered. The show startup config command displays the same configuration located in NVRAM. The show running config command displays the content of currently running configuration file located in RAM. It's important to configure hostname because various authentication processes use the device hostname. Hostname are helpful for documentation and to identify the device during remote access. Some guidelines for naming convention are the same: should start with a letter, contain no spaces, end with a letter or digit, use only letters, digits, dashes, be less than 64 characters in length. The service password encryption command encrypt the plaintext password and configuration file so that they cannot be viewed by unauthorized user. A banner message can be an important part of the legal processes in the event that someone is prosecuted for breaking into the device. A banner message should be make it clear that anyone authorized person should attempt to access the device. However, the banner command does not prevent unauthorized entry. Technician does not want to make any mistake trying to remove all these changes that were done to the running configuration file. The solution is to reboot the router within saving the running configuration, then copy startup config. Running command does not overwrite the running configuration file with the configuration file stored in NVRAM, but rather than it just have an inductive effect. Operating system function with the shell kernel and hardware. The shell interface with the user, allowing them to request specific tasks from the device. The kernel provisions cells for the hardware to meet software requirements. The hardware functions by the using the drivers underlying the electronics. The hardware represents the physical components of the device. If a Cisco iOS device has valid iOS and valid configuration file, it will boot into the user exit mode. A password will be required to enter Freebase exit mode. As soon as configuration commands are entered in the router, it automatically the device immediately running configuration files cannot be deleted nor and saved automatically. RAM store data that is used by the device support network operation. The running configuration is stored in the RAM. This type of memory is considered volatile memory because data is lost during power cycle. Flash memory store the iOS and deliver a copy of the iOS into RAM when device powered on. Flash memory is non-volatile since it retains stored content during a loss of power. In a layer 2, switch layer is switch interface that provides means to remotely manage the device. An SBI virtual interface and VLAN 1 is enabled by default on Cisco switches. VLAN 99 must be configured to be used. Fast Internet 01 and Gigabyte Internet 01 are physical interfaces. A switch as layer 2 devices does not need an IP address to transmit frames to attached device. However, when a switch is accessed remotely through the network, it must have a layer 3 address. The IP address must be applied to virtual interface rather than to be physical interface. Router not switches function as default gateway. On a Windows PC, its IP config command can be used to verify the current IP configuration. The pip command can be used to verify connectivity to other network devices. The show interfaces and show IP interface brief command are both Cisco iOS commands that are used to see the status of router and switches interface. The new PC was pre-configured to use a DHCP. When PC is connected to a network that uses DHCP, it gets the IP address setting for the DHCP server that will allow it to the function of the network. All devices require at least an IP address subnet mask for function and LAN. DNS does not automatically configure addresses on host. PC virtual interfaces are not universally compatible with LANs and do not necessarily provide a host with a IP address in space in the course. Virtual interfaces are used on network switches. The ping destination command can be used to test connectivity. The configuration mode that is in administration first encountered in ISIC mode after the enable commands is entered. The next mode is the privilege exit mode. From there, the configure terminal command is entered to move to global configuration mode. Finally, the administration entered the line console or 0 command to enter the mode which configuration will be entered. The shortcut will their function are as follow. Tab completes the remainder of partial type command or keyword. Spacebar display the next string. Question mark. Up arrow allow users to scroll backward through the former commands. Control C cancel any commands currently being entered and returns directly to previous exit mode. Control Shift 6 allows the user to interrupt an iOS process such as ping or transfer. So that's all guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you like this video and see you again in my next vlog.